if IIS is installed, no? So here in the add remove programs, there's a link here, program and features, no? Okay, so I'm just going to click that, and then I'm going to click turn Windows features on or off, no? Okay, so this is the proper way of installing it, but of course this is Windows, no? We're not going to install that in. I'm just going to demonstrate it to you, no? Okay, but on our environment we must install it running in Linux, no? Okay, so look for IIS, Internet Information, this one, I think. Yeah. So it should not be installed. It's not installed, no? Okay. I think I'm going to install. I'm going to check.
Kailangan mag-type.
Ayan, ano
Yeah,
yan?
it's not installed.
Hindi ko
So
alam.
this one, check if this one is installed. It should not be installed. Okay. So that's one. So it's not installed. That's good. Okay. The second thing that we will do is, of course, download the Apache uh, Apache web. No? Okay, so in order to do that, to launch a browser and then Apache web server. Okay, so this one, HTTPD. Okay, so we will download. I've already downloaded it. No? Okay, and then if we're talking about Windows, no, we're just going to click here. A number of
May
third-party
nagre-record?
Gagawin pa ba natin?
vendors, no? Okay, so you can choose
Sabi niya record
between these
daw.
ones, no? Apache
Bago ko
House,
umalis, sabi
Apache
niya record.
Lounge, no? Okay.
Record mo na.
Here
Di
in
ako
this
marunong
example,
mag-record,
I
no?
have clicked on Lounge and then downloaded, of course, no? Most of us,
Di ba
most of
Apache ay
our
madaling
computer
access?
is 64-bit,
Iba yan.
no? So we're just going to download this
Iba
one.
ba,
So
iba
it's
ba to?
in zip.
Oo.
Okay.
Apache Launch.
I've already downloaded it. Okay. So please, let's see, the download page here. That's it. So we're going to unzip it. Uh, Let's extract it.
Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, it's already extracted. And of course, no, this one, the Apache 24,
Oh, nanonood
is
sa
the
atin
one
ng
that we
maganda.
will be needing. Okay, so we
Ah,
can
anak niya.
install it on our local disk or C drive. So again, this is the first time, so please bear with me. And since it's 64-bit, you can install it. I think I'm going to install it inside temp. No? But wait, let's install it.
Para saan daw to? Yung sabi. Provide it up to date in just in a hurry of the third party mode. Thousand of this mode of companies.
Hindi, joke alam.
There's no run as administrator. Anyhow, so again, I'm just going to copy it on our, so anywhere, no? Okay. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to install it here in the program files. The Apache 24. This one. So cut or copy and then paste it here.
Oo, ano.
Mali.
You guys
Ano to?
following?
Ano yan? Ano yan? Gago, kakatatik ko
Mag-install.
lang.
Okay.
Gago, di ko alam.
Okay. Do you guys still follow?
Sino Ano yung sinid? Ano ba yan? Putang ina.
Class.
Okay. Lang.
Wala nang sinunod pa rin.
Okay, since I've already installed it here on our program files, no, I'm going to look for bin and then this one, this program, HTTPD. Okay, and then I'm going to launch a command prompt. Okay, here. But I'm not going to click it, right click it, and then run it as administrator. Because we're going to install Apache as a service. Okay?
Program files na
Okay.
yun, ano.
Do you guys still follow?
Opo.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to
Wala
go
mo na-install
inside
niya.
the program files. No? So that's going to be a
Paano
CD
i-remove yung
program
mga tao sa gilid?
files. And then it's inside appache24. No? CD appache24. So whatever directory you're inside, no, whatever directory you copied Apache24, no? Or we can just do this. So again, I must be running as administrator. Okay. cd program files Apache24. Okay. So we must go inside bin. So as I've said, no, bin. Okay. And then we're going to run the HTTPD. This one, HTTPD. Okay.
Ang galing.
So that's going to be HTTPD -k install. Okay. So we're going to install Apache as a service. I'm
Bago
going
may
to
error, ano yun.
press enter.
Gago. Anong
Okay, so
site
it's
yung
running.
pinag-downloadan nyo?
So how do we check that? I'm going to
Ah?
use the task manager.
Apache lunch.
Lunch.
Bayan.
Okay, I'm going to click more details and then services.
Bayan.
So there. So it's already. So it's not yet running, no? So I'm going to run it. Right click and then start.
Ano
So
yan?
it's not yet running. What happened here?
Task manager.
Open services.
Apache. Ba't ganun wala sa yun? Yun stop.
Apache 4.
Grabe si Sir Pre. Sabi niya yan.
Errors
paluya eh.
reported here must be corrected before the syntax on line 39. Server root must be a valid directory. Okay. There's a problem. No? So again, this is the first time I'm installing it. No? So I'm going to check
Saan nyo in-extract to?
the configuration file of Apache. No?
Galing yung
Okay.
sa ganito.
So that's going to be
Super Linux
notepad,
master yata.
program files, Apache24.
Config.
Okay,
Ano yan?
conf, and then httpd conf. Okay, so it
Wala
says
lang.
here to check the server root. Server root must be a valid directory. Okay, since I've installed it on, I'm going to look for server root.
HTTP.
That's why it's not running, no? Server. Server root. Okay.
Ano wala?
Okay. Where is that server root?
Bobo naman ito. Saan na ito?
So server root is of course no the Apache 2.4 must be inside the C, no? but I've installed it inside program files. So I'm just going to correct this one. Okay,
Hindi sa C.
Ayos ha. Pag
program
ako
file.
naisip ko, iyaan ako eh.
Okay. And then save this one.
Lilipat.
Ilipat ko na eh. Uninstall ko eh.
And then run it
Sa akin,
again.
wala. So, doon pala tayo.
Okay. So it's already running.
Wait lang, sir. Di ko pa nga matanda.
Okay. Do you guys still follow?
Program.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's look for, we're inside bin. No? If you're using XAMPP, there's no problem here. No? So let's look for htdocs. How to check if it's running already? No? Okay. Here in the index.php. So if we open this one, index.html, so it should display it works. Okay. So how do we do that? Issue a browser. Okay. And then, so HTTP, okay, localhost. That's it.
Nire-record.
Okay. We're going to use HTTP. There's two types of how to access a web page. No? If you remember it, your web, that's HTTP. And then the other one is what?
TPS.
Yes.
HTTPS.
So let's execute it first. No? So it works. So it's running already. Okay. Or you can just issue. That's going to be
Sa akin, ayaw.
HTTP 127.0.0.1.
Ang ina, paano kayo nakarating sa ganyan? Ba't may it works?
Adam.
Still running. Okay. I'm going to execute it again now. So that 127.0.0.1. Let's complete it. Index.html. Okay. You have any questions,
The fuck? Di ako makapunta dun
class? Any questions?
Naka-record ka, Je? Tingin nga.
Okay. So we have two types on how to access a page, no? The first one, of course, is HTTP. The second one is what? Oh, web. Your web development. What's the second one? This is the normal, the second one is the normal way of doing things, no? Class.
Next.
This one, of course, no, is port 80 by default. Port
8080.
And the second one is, I think, port
Ayaw pa rin sa akin gumana.
440. Okay. So,
Wala pa.
that's going to be HTTP. Okay. Let's use 127. That's the IP address for localhost. That's one. Okay. And then 40.
Ano ba itong pinaggagaan? Hindi ko ma-access. Niran niya ba?
You guys follow
Nire niya sa service management.
that one. That's the most complete.
Pwede mo naman yan i-run ng,
Can you see it?
ng hindi na sa
Ayun.
CMD pre.
Oo nga eh.
Run as admin
Pahirapan
mo
yung
lang.
time set. Yun, it works.
So, what's the second one? Of course. Oh,
HTTPS, di ba? Tama ba?
HTTPS.
yes. The S there stands for secure. Correct.
Sino yun?
Not going to talk about it today, no?
Sino
I'm
yun?
going to, of course, we will
Parang,
configure it
parang
in
sumigaw lang eh,
Apache
no?
so that it will
Parang
run
nasa
on
likod lang ni Sir Ro.
HTTPS, no? Or port 443. Okay? So I'm going to demonstrate if it's not running, no? So let's stop it. Stop. So it's not running, no? And then we will issue the command again.
Wala nang lalabas.
Okay lang yan. Saan yan?
One.
Ano
Oh,
yung services na yun?
Wait,
gawa na.
I'm going to issue another browser here. It should not run. Okay, so it's not running. Okay?
Ibig sabihin,
Do you
kahit
guys
hindi
have
na
questions
mag-sump.
before we proceed with
Hindi. Iba pa.
MySQL? That's the proper way of installing it, no? The Apache web server. The Apache web server is, of course, HTTP, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol. The D is the project, no? Okay. Do you guys have questions before we proceed with? Let's run it again, no? Start.
Yes.
Okay. On our next meeting, hopefully I will demonstrate it running on Linux na. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Run it again.
Putang ba't walang Apache sa akin?
Okay, localhost.
Apache lunch. Sinend ko sa
Okay.
tambahan.
Hindi, nag-download ko na nga. Na,
Question.
Iraran mo siya by CMD.
So that it's not going to be boring, no? I'm
Copy-paste
not
mo
going
dun
to
sa
bore you to death
program files.
on
Tapos,
discussing
punta ka sa
what's this
directory.
PowerPoint presentations. Any questions
Tapos, ano
Tapos
tong
na
before
yun.
ano?
we proceed with MySQL?
Ah.
Itong
Hindi.
HTTPD ba yun?
Ah.
Okay, give me a minute or two, no? Okay. I'm
HTTP.
just going to check on something. Okay. And then
Record ka naman dyan, di ba?
Yup.
digest what you
Pagkain.
have seen today and learned today. No?
Tingin nga, Je.
Give me 2 minutes.
Naka-recording pa rin eh. You keep on looking at me, you make me mesmerize.
Ah.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and I thank God I'm breathing. And I pray don't take me soon. Cause sometimes you might take a drown. But if I gonna let me down, let me down. And negativity surround. I know someday the returns way. Cause all my life I've been fool. Bobo. Putik na yan. Bakit ganun?
Okay. Class, again, do you have any questions before we proceed with MySQL? Then I'm going to check on your attendance. This will be your hands-on. Install it on your computer. Question?
Sagot? Wala po.
Diana, do you have
Papaisip
questions?
pa.
Okay. No questions. Okay.
Okay na, tapos
So,
na yun.
we're going to install and run MySQL. Okay. So, the MySQL, of course,
Pero sa akin,
May gagawin tayo?
okay, just going to Google it, no?
Wawa
MySQL.
kasi
mag-install lang
nakikinig.
yata.
I already downloaded it.
Tang inang niya.
And
Yeah.
then click on
Baral ka naman,
MySQL
boy.
Yun.
May
here.
gagawin ba?
Okay. And then we're going to click on downloads. Okay. we're interested in the community server of MySQL, the free one. No? Oh, what happened here?
This is
Okay.
so sad.
We're not going to install
Don't
the
be
enterprise
this
edition
sorry.
or download it. No?
Really.
What we're interested in is the
Kain guys.
community server, this one. So we click here, okay, and then download my SQL installer, the .msi for Windows. So again, this is the first time that I'm installing it. No, just download the first one, this one. Although it says here x86, don't worry, no, because it has options for 64 bits. So we just download the first one. I've already downloaded it. No? Okay. This one, I think, so it's either one of the two. No, this one is more complete because, of course, is more the the size is more larger than the first one. No? I think this is an offline installer. So any of the two. I've downloaded the first one today. No? Okay. And then, of course, on my downloads folder, this one. I'm just going to double click it. Okay. And then run it. Okay.
Bagay kailangan mag-login.
I'm going to minimize the other ones.
Ay, no.
Okay.
Ako lang.
Mhm. Okay.
In-stop running niya.
Now, of course, it depends on you on how you will install it. Okay. Most probably, you're going to use the first one. Okay. So this one is used for development. So if
Yung
you're
polo.
going to develop and test MySQL database, then this one is the choice. If you're going to use it
Ako
for
na
production,
bumabagal
then
na
this one,
bumabagal PC
server
ko.
only. Okay.
Kasalanan mo yan.
This one installs
Uy,
the,
dalawang beses. Ano to?
what's this? This one installs only the client. No? How you will connect to the MySQL
Ay,
database
gago.
server.
Dalawang
Yes.
beses pala talaga dapat.
Sabi?
Do you have
Kapatid?
questions?
Nothing.
Developers mode. Ay, developers
Okay.
default.
So I'm going to click on custom. Okay. And
Ako
then
nga, all-mic pala ako
next.
kanina.
Of
Don't make
course,
me
uh,
run someday. I wanna hurt you.
on
Stay
custom, na, we're just going to install this one, the x64, the first one,
Custom daw.
8.0.27. Okay. So I'm going to install the server,
Pag ako lahat
and
ulit.
then I'm going to install the applications.
Bakit select product sa
You can
kanya?
install. This is of course, no,
Saka
if you're
check
Custom.
development, then it
requirements.
will be installed for you, the
Custom.
workbench. Okay.
Okay,
I'm not going to
custom.
install that, but what I'm going to install next is the shell. Okay, this one.
Shell.
Okay, so those are the two that is needed. No?
Uy,
Okay,
anong
the other one,
Shell.
of
gagawin?
course, is
Gago.
on the MySQLi, no, the connector. So of course we need a connector here. The ODBC. This is I think
8.0.
not MySQLi.
Wala naman
This
eh.
one is for Java. Okay, and this one is for Python. So these are the connectors. How you will connect to the database. No? The ODBC here is PDO. If you're going to use the PDO connector, do you guys still follow?
Yes,
Opo.
sir.
Opo.
Okay.
Sagutin mo kasi
So,
si Im. Putik.
Sige. Sagot ko na.
Sumasagot ako,
I
baliw.
think it's already
Bullshit talking
Di
pre-installed.
kita
No?
eh.
That's why
kay
there's
Jeho.
no nothing here. No?
Bingi.
It's going to be included on our installation.
Ang ina kasi
And
nang
then I'm just
bubuga sa
going to
tenga
click
si
on
Sir eh.
next. Of course, you will need
Pagalit na
Workbench no, if you're the developer.
Oh,
No?
nabubuga
Or
po.
go to the developer option no, when installing it. Okay. So ready to
Pro na lang kami.
download. So
Ano
again,
yun, nag-next lang siya.
PlayStation
I've
naka-record ako.
downloaded the first one. No? That's why it needs to be connected to the
Sorry,
internet.
sorry.
No? So the files will be.
Kaya pala
You
matagal
should
yung
have
isa.
downloaded the
Dinownload mo
second
lahat.
one, no? Because it's more complete.
Ah,
Dinownload mo
So you
lahat.
have to wait. On
hindi.
my next class, I have to download the second
Sir,
One
one.
or
yung
more
ginagawa ni
product
Sir.
are not been satisfied.
Anyhow,
Logo, go, dami.
while it's doing that, I'm going to
Ano
download
pinagda-download
this.
ko?
Dahil mo
Not
dinownload eh. Si Sir
Apache, but
namili lang eh.
MySQL. Where's MySQL?
Ang ina.
Pwede mo namang gawin si Im. Mag-axi ka muna. Mamaya ka na.
Oh,
Record ko
yun,
lang muna.
naka-record ka, di ba? Tama,
Upload ko na
tama.
lang sa YouTube.
No, thanks. Just start my
Huwag mo
download.
upload, pare. Naririnig boses natin dyan.
Okay.
Feeling
This
mo
is for
naman ako
my
So,
malulunod.
next
install
class.
niya
Of
yung
course, we're
isa
going
pa.
to test it. No?
Ah, sige, mamaya na ako.
What happened here?
Kulit
Cancel
na.
muna, cancel.
Kulit mo, Joe.
Okay,
Pwede
so
ba
please
yan
bear
tayo
with
mamaya?
me. Okay,
Yo.
so it has downloaded it. Was still waiting for the server.
Nakapag-heal pa tuloy. Sana
I
crit.
hope your internet connection is faster. While waiting, no, do you have any questions? So I'm teaching you. I'm demonstrating what I'm doing right now. No? Okay,
Nice one.
is the proper way of installing
Ay,
it.
where's my
The
charger?
proper way of installing
Saan yung
the
charger
web
ko?
server
Ano ba to?
and the database server. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay,
again,
okay.
when we're talking about the web server, Apache.
Pom, pom, pom,
Even if
pom.
we're
Pag hindi SAM,
using
kung
Linux,
gagamitin mo.
then it's going to be Apache.
Hindi,
And
sa
then
COD, ano tayo mag-hold
afterwards,
eh.
you can install whatever
Ay, wala.
database you want.
Magko-connect
Okay.
lang.
So in our,
Ano ba tawag
although
pag
my
nagko-connect?
preference, my preferred
Nagpo-program.
database is Postgres.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Uh,
Galing ah. Pasuntok
it's
si
IT
not.
M.
ka eh.
It's not
Pag
Pasuntok.
IT,
universal.
program na
No, the
tawag doon.
universal
Hindi code.
database, of course, is
Pag
MySQL.
first year ka pa lang, code
That's why
pa
I'm
tawag.
demonstrating it
Okay.
to you
Thank you
right
si
now.
Mantang. Ay, sorry.
Okay. In XAMPP, it's very simple. Just download XAMPP and then
Bagal
away
naman
you
ng
go.
ano
No?
nito.
Okay.
Bagal
Yeah. What
naman
we
ng
did
internet.
earlier, it did not run. No, Apache did not run because it was not properly configured. Okay. And what we did was open the configuration file. Okay. So I'm doing uh,
Ida-download ko
a
na yung
very simple
project para
administrative task no,
install
of
mamaya.
troubleshooting via the configuration file.
Kinikilig
Do you
ako
get
pag
it?
unable
What we have
magpatupad.
discussed before. That's why the configuration management is very important.
Mas
Do
nananalo
you
pa ako
guys
dito sa anemone kaysa sa
follow
ano. Chop suey na aqua.
Reptile.
Hindi yung aqua na chop suey.
class?
Uy, ano ito?
Ano sabi niya, Sir?
Natulog na lahat, gago. Last.
Again, for our review while waiting, no? Okay. And to run it as administrator. So, on our example, Apache was not running, no? So it's inside program files, no? It will run if I install it, if I install the folder here, because it was configured here. No? But unfortunately, we installed it inside here, now the program files. Okay, so if you remember, appache24 here. Okay, and then inside Apache 2.4, we have different directories. Okay, and we did use the bin or the binary file to install it as a service. Okay, Okay, again for our review. After downloading it, no, and copying it from the folder, we use the httpd dash k. It means that install it as a service and then install. I'm not going to
Install.
press enter now. Okay.
Dash K ibig sabihin service.
Then it
Ah,
installed as a service. To
install it
check
as a
it, we
service.
opened up Task Manager, no? And then we open up the services task. Okay. Then inside the config, sorry.
Oh.
htdocs.
Okay. The main configuration file of Apache. These are different. There are different types of configuration file, but the main configuration file of Apache is of course the
httpd.
httpd.conf. Na. So we can open it using any text editor. Na.
Galing niya, no? Kaya niyan
And then
mag-ayos ng
of
computer
course,
nang hindi ginagalaw yung mouse.
we just specified to Apache that it's not on the C, the root, but on the programs. It's inside
Nag-ayos na ako
program
ng
file.
computer, Joe eh.
And then when we
Hindi
corrected that,
gumagamit ng mouse.
okay,
Ang
it
mouse,
ran.
di nababasa yung mouse.
How to check, of course, your programs
Ano yung CMD?
Oh, CMD lang. Naka ano siya,
must be
tab,
here.
tab.
Your
Hmm.
.php files must be
Gods
here
na pala
inside.
si Jeho.
Okay.
Yo, Gods
So
for
when you test your program,
Crazy manok.
you must copy it inside here, htdocs. Okay, much like your xampp. But xampp is inside a directory called xampp, and then there's Apache, and then there's htdocs. Do you guys follow?
Yes.
What happened now to our installation?
htdocs manox.
Okay, it's already
Yun, downloaded.
downloaded.
Bilis pala na internet ni sir.
And then we're going to
We're going
install
to
it.
execute. Bilis ang PC ni Sir, oh.
bilis oh.
Oh,
So please forgive my
mabagal pa daw yun.
unit.
Crazy.
It's an older unit.
Paano na yung
It
sabit, Sir?
has already downloaded.
Suga
And
natin.
we're installing it right now. So I think it will be installed.
Ay,
Let's just wait now.
saan nagtagal ako.
It will be installed here inside program files. There MySQL.
It
Yeah.
is sir,
Tingnan
no?
natin yan.
Ang ina, palong-palo
So it's-
mag-code.
Wala.
Going to install inside
Hello,
Hindi ko
MySQL.
yan. Talo na naman ako.
Masyadong kabisado
Then-
CFD.
Since na nagpa-old. Ano gagawin?
0.
Ginawa na. Napagalan siya ng ano.
So let's wait.
Oy, chill ka lang, Sir. Di ako makasunod.
Again, if we install the MySQL server, it has its own configuration.
Sarap ng ano. Sausage.
Did you guys install it like the one we're doing? Or you just installed XAMPP?
Sagutin mo,
Most of you.
Sagutin nyo.
Anybody tried it installing separately?
Hindi.
Uy, sagutin nyo.
While waiting?
Putik kayo.
Class? Anyone
Ano?
tried to install this separately?
Paano? Hindi ko maintindihan.
Like what we're doing right now? Hindi. How about the others? Who among you tried this like what we're doing today?
Sagutin mo, baliw.
Yo, ikaw malakas dyan.
Okay.
Di ako
So based
nag-download.
from what I'm seeing,
Nagre-record ako.
most of you used XAMPP.
Exact,
For
ito
production
yung-
use, if you're my God, it's slow. For production
My God.
use, no. If you're running, what's this? If you're going to install it in, let's say you have a Windows server, then this is the proper way of doing it. No? Okay. So before installing my SQL, make sure that the Apache is the web server is installed. No? Okay. Microsoft has its own, which I have said, no, IIS. No, but of course we're not going to use IIS. What we're going to use is, of course, Apache. So you install it first. Uh, you follow this one. So even though this is not Linux, you follow this one. Okay. So that is how we install it. Install first the operating system, then install the web server, then install the database server, and then install the interpreter, in which case now the P there stands for PHP. That's the last thing that we will install. Okay? So please remember.
Saan ka pupunta?
Guys, any questions?
Wala pa po. Gagawin, sagutin niyo si Sir Uy.
So for the next
Sinagot mo
meeting,
na.
no, I will install it. We will install it, no?
Ito
Okay,
segment.
hopefully in Linux, no? So in order to do that,
Baliw yung segment.
okay, it's complete. Ready to configure. Okay. So let's click on next. Okay. This computer is okay. So I'm going to choose server computer. Yeah. But in your case, you use
Tagal ko nakaupo
development.
dito, hindi
Okay.
ako nakapag-code.
So
Lahat to
it
guys.
uses port 3306. Okay, for my SQL. Then click on next. Okay. So this one is okay. This one is for the root password. Okay. So I'm just going to use this
Mali
password.
attack ng kalaban ko, pre.
Sorry. Okay. I'm going to use this password. The universal password.
The universal
Okay.
password. 0000.
Okay. Just going to copy this one.
Why do you
Kaya
never
pala
have
bumagal Cortana. Okay, and then I'm going to paste it. No? And then paste it. Of course, it must be a strong password for root. Okay. If it will be installed as a service. Okay. The MySQL server needs to run under a user account based on the security requirements, standard system account. Okay. So just click on next and then execute.
Let me tell you something. Let me be your woman.
And then we're going to check if MySQL, as of now, no, they're not connected yet, no? Okay. The Apache
I
server
get
doesn't understand
so
MySQL yet,
lonely.
no?
I
Okay.
could
So
hardly
finish.
take your
That's it.
hand.
Configuration
Someone takes
complete.
over me. Yeah. So amazing.
The
It's
log
like
file, no?
this. Want you to stay
Let's see the example of the
inside.
log file.
Oh, my pride, your love is so big.
Okay.
It knocks me right off my feet. Can't explain why your love is so weak.
Okay. So this is an example of an installation log. if you're going to if let's say you're going to check why a particular server doesn't install or run, no, then you can check this. Okay,
Paano nyo ginawa?
so that's an example of an installation log. We're going to check if MySQL is running.
Joe, paano
Uh,
manalo sa ano?
yeah, this one.
Sa may
Okay, so
reptile na
I have
headshot
not
tsaka spicy
installed
surprise.
Ano yan? 1v1?
Oh.
okay,
Pag
I
maraming
have not
energy,
installed
jump allergic, jump allergic.
Workbench, no, the one that you're going to use to
Next na
create
Bakit
jump
log.
allergic mo,
bakit ba
patay.
maganda yung champ allergic, champ allergic?
Okay,
Papasok kasi ng 350,
so
gano'n.
it's prompting me to
Oh,
enter a
next na tira
password.
mo ng jump allergic. Heads na.
Try to increase the
Siyempre,
speed,
slow mo
Makakapag
muna.
champ allergic ka kaya?
size. Okay,
Nga, try
so
ko.
Kung
we're
hindi,
going to
slow
use
mo
the
lamang ka dyan
password that
kasi
we have
lagi ka una.
entered, no? The universal password. Okay, so this is running, no?
Ayun o.
Okay, so of course we're inside the, we have checked that MySQL is running. What we're going to do,
Create database.
okay, is of course create a user, no? Create user. Okay, so I'm going to create mine. At since we're talking about a single computer, okay, identified by, just going to use as
TR.
345. Okay,
Password yan yung identified by, di ba?
Di ko alam.
Ayun o.
okay.
Create
So
user.
to check if this one we have created successfully a user, since I'm root, so wait, okay, and then I'm going to minimize the other ones. Okay, so tables, okay,
Dami
describe
ko na naman baso sa kwarto.
user.
User.
Sino ba matutuwa ng ganito?
Okay, select
User.
host, user, password.
Ang galing ni Sir Rampo.
Is it pass? I have to check for a while.
Parang tatrabaho si Sir Rambo.
User from user. Okay, so we have created the username here, and then the pass I think is pass. Select. If you have questions, please
Wala
do
naman
so.
kami maintindihan, Sir eh.
Pass I think from.
Anin mo na. Bayaran na lang natin si Jen.
Wait.
Wala akong password na nakalagay kasi.
Do you guys remember
Ident.
the column name for password?
Hindi, Sir eh.
Ano
Host,
yun?
user, and then happened to the password?
Ay, iba siguro.
So,
Host user, where's the password here? Or is it this one is already different, I think. No? The password is not already here. It's on a different
Table.
table, I think. Or pass WD. Wait. Pass WD.
what you gonna do,
Do you
sir?
guys remember the password? Or no?
No, sir.
It's different.
Grabe. Opo, sir. Opo.
Di ba ganito? Yung
Yung
Hindi,
default.
password ni
wala kasi
Midnight.
dun eh. Wala kasi dun eh.
Parang wala dun.
Wala yung user dun. Ay, wala yung password. Baka yan password required.
Ano, wala na CLS ni sir?
Hindi. Hindi walang nakalagay na field
Cannot
na
see the
password.
password. Column. Last one. Password required current. Is that it? Select password. Etinum eh. Authentication string. Yeah, this is the password. I think.
Authentication string.
Please check, no? But I have already created a user here, no? And then,
Yung ba yung may at?
so I'm logged in as root.
Hindi.
That's
As.
why.
May video ko dito eh. Pwede ko i-stop recording.
Hindi,